The Texas Tech Red Raider basketball team is officially on their way to the Final Four. Coming up, we have all the details you need to know if you're following the team to Minnesota.
The School of Music showcased a different set of students last week during a special biannual performance. MCTV's Alyssa Emerson has a special look at Tech's Spring Opera.
And the creativity of Texas Tech students can be found in various art galleries around campus. But last week, the sub also became a temporary gallery during an event that takes one man's trash and turns it into artistic treasure.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Uvie Bikomo.
And I'm Angelina Galvan. In just over 48 hours, the Texas Tech men's basketball team will be making their first ever appearance in the NCAA Final Four.
That's right, Angelina. Saturday's game will mark one of the biggest moments in Texas Tech's athletic history. And with that in mind, fans and members of the Tech community came out early yesterday morning to send off the team. At approximately 7:15 a.m. on Wednesday, several hundred fans gathered on the north side of the United Supermarkets Arena to greet the Red Raiders as they boarded a bus for the airport. The send-off included Raider Red, members of the Palm Squad and Saddle Tramps, along with university officials and members of the athletic department. The team then left the USA to catch their charter flight to Minneapolis, Minnesota to take part in this week's Final Four festivities.
Just good luck, and y'all, we know y'all worked really hard this season, and y'all deserve it.
We're super proud of our team for all that they've accomplished this year.
Wednesday's send-off was organized on Tuesday afternoon to give the Texas Tech and Lubbock community the chance to wish the Red Raiders well on their historic journey.
The members of the men's team aren't the only ones making a trip across the country for the NCAA tournament. Hundreds of students, faculty, staff, and other Tech fans are also planning to make their way north to support the Red Raiders. Yesterday, StubHub.com released information on ticket sales for this year's Final Four games. According to the release, fans from Texas make up for 15% of sales. That percentage is the highest from any state with representative in the Final Four. Right behind Texas is Michigan with 8% and Virginia at 6%. Alabama, where Auburn is located, is number 7 on the list at 4%. Based on ticket sales, it appears that Texas Tech will have one of the largest fan bases in Minneapolis.
Even though many students want to make the trip to the Final Four, university officials want to make sure students know that the trip is not an official reason to miss class. According to a memo sent to faculty yesterday, only 5 groups beyond the basketball team are officially allowed to be excused for the Final Four. Those groups include the All-Girls Spirit Squad, the Court Jesters Pep Band, select members of the Co-Ed Pom and Cheer Squads, select members of student government, and students who act as the Raider Red mascot. The memo, which was sent from the Office of the Provost, goes on to say that any student who travels to Minnesota is not officially excused from class. But late yesterday afternoon, a follow-up email was sent from the Provost's office to amend the original memo, saying that it is the choice of the instructor whether or not to count an absence against the student. The email says that, quote, "For many of our students, attending the Final Four represents a very rare opportunity. Where practical, it is reasonable to foster our students' participation in the nationally important and visible event." Although there are no dates specifically referenced in the email, the Final Four tournament technically starts on Saturday. Tech could continue to play through to next Monday if they win on Saturday. Assuming that students travel back on Tuesday, this means that anyone attending the tournament could miss 2 or more days of class. However, at this point, there has been no official statement from the university if classes will be interrupted next week if the Red Raiders win the national championship on Monday night.
Most Tech fans traveling to Minneapolis this weekend have all the details in place to watch the game on Saturday. However, there are some students that are still looking for last-minute ticket deals as they get ready to head north. Unfortunately, there are some people online trying to take advantage of those hoping to cheer the Red Raiders on to victory. Earlier this week, several news outlets reported that some fans were scammed while attempting to buy Final Four tickets. With that in mind, the TTU IT division sent out an advisory to students to be aware of ticket scams. The advisory reminds students to buy and sell through a trusted ticket vendor. They also wanted to remind students that any student tickets that are purchased for the tournament are non-transferable. Those tickets are tied specifically to the student ID used to purchase the ticket. The IT division also encourages students to know the reseller's refund policy and pay with a credit card instead of a debit card, cash, or wire transfers. And finally, students are encouraged to save emails regarding the transaction for a possible purchase dispute or for criminal investigations. At this point, all tickets for the Final Four that were allotted to Texas Tech are sold out, but there are still tickets available on many ticket resellers on the internet. At last check, ticket prices for this weekend's game are starting around $200 to $300, with some club-level seats being resold for as much as $12,000.
The Final Four may be the hottest topic around Texas Tech campus right now, but there's still been plenty of activities for students to find something to do without having to head to Minneapolis.
That's right, Uvie. Last week, one department hosted a biannual show that gave attendees the chance to enjoy musical theater without leaving campus. MCTV's Alyssa Emerson has more on this special performance.
Texas Tech's School of Music hosts many events throughout each semester, providing students with fun experiences at no cost. March 27th through the 30th, the School of Music's Opera Theater performed their spring opera. Gregory Brooks, the stage director for the performance and an assistant professor of voice, summarizes the two performances.
We did The Medium by Menotti, who was an American composer, immigrated to America, and so it's in English, and it was about Baba, who is a mystic, but she really is just scamming people and invites them in and does seances, and then in this particular seance she feels something, and suddenly she starts to panic because she's never thought that they were real, and so she descends into this this spiral of despair and psychosis, and it has a very tragic ending. Johnny Schicchi, on the other hand, is a comic opera by Puccini. It was premiered in America, but Puccini being an Italian composer, it's in Italian, and we had super titles so people could see the translation, and it's a comic opera, very funny. It's about a whole bunch of relatives that you know, are mourning or pretending to mourn the loss of their patriarch, Buoso Donati, because he has lots of money, and they're very excited that they might inherit something, and they find his will and discover that he hasn't left them anything. And so the rest of the opera is about Johnny Schicchi coming in and trying to help them rewrite the will. And so it's a comedy of errors, and ends the evening on a higher note.
Jose Vieta, a biochemistry major, found the opera to be a unique event.
It's my first time, so it was very distinct and like a learning experience.
Zach Torma, a civil engineering major, felt that the show ended on a good note.
You found yourself kind of rooting for characters that you knew would ultimately be doomed. And so I think that was certainly the case in the first one. And then the second act was a comedy, and that was just really fantastic because it allowed you to laugh off the first act.
If you missed this spring performance, don't worry. Texas Tech's Opera Theater does a performance every spring and fall semester.
To find out about upcoming events hosted by the School of Music, visit music.ttu.edu. For MCTV, I'm Alyssa Emerson.
5K runs and walks are a popular form of exercise for many students during the spring semester. But as MCTV's Sarah Carda shows us, one recent event gave participants the chance to head to the track to enjoy some cardio with a furry friend.
Dog and exercise lovers united March 23rd for the Texas Tech Rec Sports Fun Run. The fun run was here at Urbanovsky Park at 8 a.m. The Tech Rec used the event to come together as one entity.
This event was actually used by us to unite all of our rec, sports, different departments. It's really a bonding experience for all of us to get out of our comfort zone in our department and do something we all love to do.
The event was $10 for rec members and $20 for community members. Participants had the choice to run the 5K or a 1-mile dog walk. Many chose to walk the mile with their dogs. Dogs of all shapes, sizes, and colors got to enjoy the beautiful morning.
If you have a dog, or even if you don't have a dog, the fun run's just, a good way to get it's fun. I mean, who doesn't like dogs?
Many participants were excited to join the event because they could bring their furry friends. Water jugs and treats were provided to keep pooches happy. Bananas and granola bars were provided to fuel runners.
I am a really big dog lover. I love dogs, everything about dogs. And for me, it's kind of like not only a chance to show off my dog and like how cute he is, but also see what other people's dogs look like and start getting ideas for what my next dog is going to be.
Some participants chose to run the 5K. The 5K was a routed course around Urbanovsky Park and was separate from the 1-mile dog walk.
I'm a former marathon runner, so I know that in order to prepare for a race, I need to get around other people and kind of compete a little bit with myself. And so actually knocked a whole minute off of my time.
The Texas Tech Rec will continue to hold health and wellness promotional events throughout the semester. For MCTV, I'm Sarah Carta.
It's been a pretty nice week on the South Plains with some consistently warm temperatures and lots of sunshine.
That's true, Uvie, but we've also seen a lot of wind over the last few days, and that could bring some changes our way. So what can we expect heading into the weekend? MCTV's Madison Hartin joins us now with a look at the forecast. Madison?
Thanks, guys. Well, it is true. We are in the full thick of spring right now, and with everything that comes with spring, like beautiful weather, lots of sunshine, but also thunderstorms and the pollen that's around here, severe allergies right now. So spring is definitely an interesting time to be here at Texas Tech. Right now, looking out at our tower cam at Urbanovsky Park, we can see that some of the trees are starting to get their leaves back that they lost over the winter, and there's not a cloud in the sky. It is blue and beautiful outside. Definitely get out to Urbanovsky if you have the chance today, because it is gorgeous right now. Our high for today is going to be around 79 degrees, mostly sunny and warm, and a wind coming from the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, it's still pretty moderate temperatures. Our low is only going to drop back down to about 51 degrees, cloudy and mild conditions, and a southeasterly wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, speaking of that rain I was talking about, we are going to be seeing some spring showers coming in, but for Friday, our high temperatures are going to be in about the lower 80s, upper 70s, so very similar to today. But as the day goes on, that moisture front is going to come in. The temperatures will drop down to the upper 40s, lower 50s, and with that temperature dropping, we are going to be seeing the moisture front start to roll into our little corner of Texas. The only severe rain we're going to be seeing is between Lubbock and the Matador area and a little bit by Plainview. And Texas Tech, we will be seeing a little bit of rain, but it will not be severe weather as far as we know right now. But just keep in mind that even a little bit of rain can flood the Texas Tech streets. Our roads tend to look a little bit like a log flume, even with an inch of rain, so just be prepared for that. And for our high temperatures for tomorrow, with that 40% chance of rain in the PM, highs are going to be about 78 degrees here, lows at 51. And for Saturday, highs of 78, lows at 52, and the sun will be making an appearance again as that moisture front rolls out with partially cloudy skies. And then for Sunday, 77 degrees is our high, low of 47, northeasterly wind at 15 to 25 miles per hour, and partially cloudy skies for Sunday too. So even if you can't make it to Minneapolis for the game this weekend, it's still going to be very beautiful here. So definitely do something here to enjoy the game. And speaking of spring conditions right now, another thing that is affecting the area very severely right now is pollen. Everyone has felt it. Everyone is getting allergies right now. The two bad ones right now are grass, tree pollen, and a little bit of ragweed in the area too, and sadly there's nothing we can do about it. We do live on the plains, so just take some Benadryl, take your allergy medication, put on a steamer, do anything you can because it will not be going away anytime soon. It's just part of our spring conditions here on the South Plains. Back to you.
Thanks, Madison. There's a lot of creativity that can be found on the Tech campus, and even though most of the works created by students are often on display in the School of Art, there are other opportunities for the Tech community to show off their skills during campus-wide competitions. MCTV Rebecca Hinestroza stopped by one of those events where students could get crafty while going green.
Hi, this is Rebecca Hinestroza with MCTV, and today we are at the Recycled Art Contest.
Many students gathered at the Sub Courtyard last Thursday for the annual Recycled Art Contest put on by the Texas Tech Housing Services. Every year, students can participate and enter the recycled masterpiece for a chance to win t-shirts, school swag, gift cards, as well as scholarships. Students and faculty got to vote on their favorite recycled art piece and learned a couple tips on how to be more green.
Today we're doing a recycling art competition, so it's all art that's made out of recycled materials, styrofoam, plastic, cardboard, anything really that's been recycled. It's really just to get the involvement up and to get people to see that recycling can be used in multiple ways. You can use it for art, you can recycle to make the world better.
This event is put on for students to recognize how important it is to recycle and be environmentally friendly, as well as bring more attention to the recycling center on campus that is open to anybody.
Today we're having a recycled art contest. It's in conjunction with Recyclemania, which is a nationwide competition between universities. It's been open to faculty, staff, students on campus, and the art has to be 75% recycled, made of something 75% recycled.
Recycling is one of the easiest and most effective ways to help your environment, so get excited about recycling.
We have a recycling center on campus, and it's open to the public, it's open to people on campus, and all the money we make from selling the commodities, the plastic, the metals and all that goes into scholarships. And this year we'll give away 45 $1,000 scholarships in April.
We take paper, metals, plastics, glass, foam cups, packing foam, cardboard.
With MCTV, this is Rebecca Hinestroza.
After several long weekend series, the Red Raider baseball team returned to midweek play on the road in Albuquerque.
So could the Red Raiders extend their win records against cross-state rival team New Mexico? MCTV's Aditya Sahasrabudhe has a look at the game along with a preview of the Final Four in sports. AD?
Thanks, Angelina and Uvie. The number 11 Texas Tech baseball team dropped its first midweek game of the season 12-9 at New Mexico on Wednesday from the Santa Ana Starfield in Albuquerque. What seemed like a job done in just the third, Red Raiders failed to capitalize on the 6-run lead. They also failed to score in the next 4 innings before they equalized in the 8th. New Mexico, meanwhile, was able to tie the game at 8-all with a soft infield single in second base before taking the lead with a bloop that landed just inside the line behind first base. The Red Raiders will return to Lubbock for its Big 12 home opening series against Kansas from Friday to Sunday. The 3-game set will air on TexasTech.tv and Texas Tech Sports Network with first pitch at 6:30 p.m. Friday, 2 p.m. Saturday and 1 p.m. Sunday. The Red Raiders have made it through to the Final Four for the first time in history. After fighting through 18 rounds of conference games to win the program's first Big 12 Conference regular season championship, and then knocking out Northern Kentucky, Buffalo, Michigan and Gonzaga in the NCAA tournament, Texas Tech is ready to make more history. Now, they've arrived where the road ends in Minnesota and they are ready to win it all. The Red Raiders, who have won 13 of their last 15 games, advanced to the Elite 8 last season and are now 7-1 under head coach Chris Beard in the past 2 NCAA tournaments. Texas Tech is making its first Final Four appearance, where it will take on Michigan State at 7:49 p.m. on Saturday at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, following the first matchup between Auburn and Virginia in the afternoon. In soccer news, Manchester City doesn't seem to be showing any mercy on Liverpool in its quest to retain the Premier League. Manchester City eased past Cardiff City as the champions returned to the Premier League summit. The hosts began evening 2 points behind Liverpool but leapfrogged them courtesy to first-half goals from Kevin De Bruyne and Leroy Sané. With 6 more matches to go, the cat-and-the-mouse chase between Liverpool and City for the title is expected to go on. And racism in any realm of life is repugnant, be it on or off the field. 19-year-old Italian striker Moise Kean was the recipient of racist abuse from Cagliari fans in Juve's 2-0 win. What made things worse was Ken's teammate Leonardo Bonucci's controversial statement that said that Ken was 50% responsible for the racial abuse. Although Bonucci said he stands against discrimination, he somehow put half of the blame on Ken for his celebration. Well, we hope people stop justifying racism in any way and start taking steps to curb it. That's all we have for today's sports coverage. Back to you, Uvie and Angelina.
Thanks, AD. So, Angelina, are you planning to watch the Red Raiders play in the Final Four this weekend?
Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss it.
I'm not a sports fan, but it's something that I plan on watching too. Well, that's all for today's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check out ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.